Time is the only resource you can never earn back. While money lost can be re-earned, relationships repaired, or objects replaced, time once spent is gone forever. Each moment that passes is a moment we will never see again. We often live as if time is infinite, treating it casually, wasting hours on distractions, complaints, or regrets. Yet every breath we take is borrowed, and we are never guaranteed the next one. Life in its deepest truth is a countdown, and how we spend that time reveals how we value our existence. Many people delay their dreams saying, "I'll do it next year," or "when the time is right." But what if the right time never comes? What if, while waiting for perfect conditions, the opportunity slips away? The truth is, life is always in motion. It doesn't pause for us to catch up. If we don't take ownership of our minutes and hours, they vanish, leaving behind nothing but the echo of what could have been. Time demands respect, not fear, not anxiety, but respect because it is sacred. We often hear the phrase killing time, but to kill time is to slowly kill a part of ourselves. The hours spent scrolling aimlessly, the days spent living on autopilot, the years spent stuck in a job, a habit, or a mindset that doesn't fulfill us, these are not neutral actions. They come with a cost. The cost is our potential, our growth, our inner peace. What could have been created, learned, shared, or experienced during that time. Once we become aware of this cost, wasting time no longer feels harmless, it feels tragic. Some people live as if they have a second life in their back pocket, a second chance where they'll finally be disciplined, loving, brave, or free. But that second life does not exist. This is it. This is your one and only chance to be fully alive. That realization is not meant to cause pressure, but clarity. It invites you to treat today with the seriousness it deserves, and at the same time with lightness, because when you respect time, you no longer carry the burden of regret. The way you spend your time reflects your values. If you truly value growth, you dedicate time to learning. If you value connection, you make space for people, even in a busy life. If you value health, you prioritize your well-being. And if you value life itself, you live each day with intention. This doesn't mean every day must be packed with accomplishments. It means you're aware, conscious that your time matters, and so you treat it with care. We live in a world that constantly tries to steal our time through endless entertainment, distraction, noise, and pressure. It's easy to give in. It's easy to spend hours watching other people live their lives instead of fully living your own. But there is a quiet strength in choosing differently, in saying no to what drains you and yes to what builds you, in protecting your time the same way you would protect something fragile and priceless, because that is exactly what it is. Time does not wait for anyone. It doesn't pause for healing. It doesn't freeze while we make up our minds. That is why action is so important. Not rushed action, not anxious movement, but meaningful steps, even small ones, in the direction of what matters. The dream you keep postponing, the apology you keep avoiding, the project you fear starting, each day that passes is one less chance to move toward them. There comes a point when delay is no longer about timing, it's about fear. And fear does not deserve to rule your life. When you start to see time as a gift, your life changes. You become less tolerant of people and habits that waste it. You start asking yourself, is this how I want to spend my day? Is this worthy of my life energy? You begin to simplify, to declutter your time the way you might declutter a room, removing what doesn't belong so that space is made for what does. And in that space, you rediscover joy. You begin to see clearly what truly matters. We must also remember that the time we have is not just ours. Others are affected by how we use it. When we waste time, we're not only delaying our growth, we're holding back the contributions we could make to the people around us. Our presence, our service, our kindness, our creativity, all of these things require time. When we honor our time, we increase the value of what we offer to the world. In this way, using time well becomes an act of generosity. There's a difference between being busy and using time wisely. Many people stay busy their entire lives without ever moving closer to meaning. Their calendars are full, but their hearts are empty. That is not the goal. The goal is not productivity for its own sake. The goal is alignment, that how you spend your time reflects who you are and who you wish to become. And sometimes using time well means slowing down, being still, saying no, or doing less. It means being awake to the moment instead of rushing past it. Children understand this naturally. When they play, they are fully present. They are not watching the clock. They are not worrying about tomorrow. They are immersed in the now. We forget that as we grow older, but the truth is, the deepest part of us still craves that presence. It's not just about doing more with our time, it's about being more alive in it. Watching the sun set, listening deeply, creating something beautiful, feeling gratitude, these are the ways we honor time. Sometimes we only realize the value of time when it's too late, when a loved one is gone, when a chapter closes, when age catches up. But wisdom means learning this lesson now, not later. It means living today as if it were the most precious day of your life, because in many ways it is. No other day has this exact combination of people, experiences, and chances. This day will never return, so why not live it fully? Life doesn't demand that we do grand things every moment, but it does ask that we show up, that we care, that we pay attention, that we live with purpose, even in the small moments. Because the small moments are where life actually happens, and when you string together enough of those moments lived consciously, you begin to shape a life that reflects who you truly are. So treat your time as sacred. Guard it, honor it, use it wisely, because it is the only resource you can never earn back, and how you spend it is how you spend your life. Living with intention transforms existence into purpose. So many people move through life as if on autopilot, repeating routines, reacting to situations, and going through the motions without ever asking themselves why. Days pass, then weeks, and suddenly years disappear without direction or clarity. When we live without intention, life begins to feel hollow. We wake up, go to work, engage in surface-level conversations, distract ourselves with entertainment, and go to sleep only to repeat the cycle. This kind of existence may keep us busy, but it does not fulfill us. It does not challenge us to grow, nor does it allow us to connect with the deeper meaning of being alive. Intention is the inner compass that gives our actions meaning. It is the why behind what we do. Without it, life is like a ship without a rudder, constantly in motion, but without a destination. Intention does not require perfection. It requires awareness. When you live with intention, you begin to choose your responses instead of reacting blindly. You begin to make decisions that align with your values instead of just following the crowd or obeying expectations. You stop trying to impress others and start trying to honor your own truth. Many people confuse goals with purpose. Goals are important, they give us targets to aim for. But goals without intention are just checkboxes. You can achieve many things and still feel empty if those things aren't rooted in your values. Purpose comes from living in alignment with what matters most to you. It doesn't have to be grand or dramatic. It can be as simple as wanting to be kind, wanting to grow, wanting to make someone's life better, or wanting to live in peace. Intention brings light to ordinary moments and reveals the beauty and meaning hidden within them. Living with intention is not about doing more. It's about doing what matters. It's about saying no to distractions so you can say yes to what truly deserves your time and energy. It's about noticing where your time goes and choosing to direct it toward things that nourish you. That might mean creating instead of consuming, listening instead of speaking, taking care of your body instead of ignoring its needs, reaching out to someone you love instead of assuming they already know. Every action, when done with intention, becomes sacred. Every moment, when lived consciously, becomes a building block for a meaningful life. Intention also transforms how we handle difficulty. Challenges will come, that's part of life. But when you're rooted in intention, you don't get lost in hardship. You don't ask, why is this happening to me? You ask, how can I grow through this? Living with intention gives you the resilience to keep moving forward, even when things are uncertain. Because you are no longer just surviving, you are living on purpose. You understand that pain can shape you, that struggle can strengthen you, that even in loss there can be clarity. Another way intention shapes life is through the energy you bring into every interaction. When you speak, are your words coming from ego or from compassion? When you listen, are you truly present or just waiting for your turn to talk? When you work, are you simply chasing reward, or are you contributing something of value? These are questions that intention helps us answer. The more intentional we are, the more integrity we bring into the world. And when we live in integrity, when our actions match our inner values, we feel peace. We feel whole. We no longer need to pretend because we are finally being real. Intentional living also means slowing down. In a fast-paced world that celebrates productivity and busyness, slowing down can feel like rebellion. But it is in slowness that we gain clarity. When we slow down, we notice what we've been ignoring. We reconnect with ourselves. We become aware of our thoughts, our patterns, our fears, our desires. And from that awareness, we can begin to choose differently. We can let go of what no longer serves us and make space for what does. There is power in small intentional actions. You don't need to change everything overnight. Sometimes intention is just waking up and choosing to be kind today. Or deciding to drink more water, or choosing to turn off your phone and talk to your child. These small, conscious choices shape who we become. They are the seeds that grow into the life we want. It's not the big ones, in a lifetime decisions that define us most. It's the daily ones, the quiet ones, the ones no one sees. When you live with intention, your relationship with time also changes. You no longer see time as something to kill, but as something to invest. You stop rushing through your days, trying to reach the next moment. Instead, you inhabit each moment more fully. You notice the sound of the wind, the way someone smiles, the rhythm of your own breath. You begin to experience life more deeply because you are actually there, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally. Living with intention also brings clarity in relationships. You begin to recognize which connections are nourishing and which ones drain you. You start choosing honesty over comfort, depth over surface, quality over quantity. You invest in the people who align with your values, and you create space from those who don't. This isn't about judgment, it's about energy. Life is too short to constantly explain your worth to people who refuse to see it. Intention gives you the courage to walk away from what isn't meant for you and walk toward what is. In a world full of noise, living with intention is a form of rebellion. It is a choice to not be swept away by the tides of distraction, comparison, and consumption. It is a decision to return to yourself, to listen deeply, act mindfully, and live authentically, and when you do, something shifts. Life begins to feel lighter, clearer, more meaningful. You wake up not dreading the day, but curious about what it might bring. You go to bed not wondering where the day went, but grateful for how you lived it. Purpose is not something you find, it is something you create through the way you live, through what you prioritize, through what you give your heart to. And that process begins with intention. So let every morning be a question, what kind of person do I want to be today? And let every evening be a reflection, did I live today in alignment with who I am? That is how existence becomes purpose. That is how a life becomes meaningful. Living with intention doesn't require that you have all the answers. It only asks that you remain awake, that you keep choosing what aligns with your highest truth moment by moment, and as you do, life will begin to feel less like something happening to you and more like something being shaped by you. Intention is the bridge between who you are and who you're meant to be, and once you start living this way, there is no going back. Because once you taste purpose, ordinary life no longer satisfies.